All right, everybody, this is Mr. Rice of It's All About Autos. Coming to you today, bringing you a little insight on some things here that I think you may need to know and be aware of about this little 2006 Honda Civic. As you know, the little Civics, they all have the little 4 cylinders in them, 1.8. Well, this little booger right here was displaying some very peculiar, odd overheating situations. I'll go into further details on what all was diagnosed and what particular type of service or repair was done to it, so it would kind of either fix it or show us exactly what need to be fixed, and we've gotten down to that. So when the customer first brought the car to me, he was complaining about the overheating. The temp gauge inside was going to hot. Well, his first visit when he came, I took the radiator cap off and saw that its coolant level was low. So I added, I didn't have any of the blue that is needed for this little car. So I just added water right there and see how much it would take. So it took about a cup of water, which really wasn't enough for it to make it overheat. So he went on, and I tested it that evening. The fans came on at the right time. The fans were not just a continuous run or anything. So he left, called me the next day, said it's overheating again. So when he brought it to me that afternoon, on that time, all symptoms showed that he needed the thermostat. Make a long story short, I ended up putting the thermostat in it. I ended up flushing the whole system before putting the thermostat in it by disconnecting here. And I took the thermostat back out when I did my flush, but I disconnected the hose here and ran coolant in this way to the radiator. Let it come out that way with the petcock closed and open. Put the nozzle inside of the engine this way to run the coolant back that way and flushed them. Then sealed it up, put the coolant in there and topped them off. He ran good for a day. The young man called, came back, said, it's running hot again. This time he told me something a little bit odd. He said that the vehicle had, when he saw it running hot, he cut it off and let it cool down. Come time to start it back up, it acted like it didn't want to start. So that prompted me to ask him how long had it been overheating. I found out it had been doing this a bit longer than I was led to understand in the beginning. Anyway, what we I took my radar type of temperature tester, put it up here on the radiator hose, upper hose. It was it was about 180 or something like that. When I put it on the bottom hose down there, bottom radiator hose, that baby only displayed about 90. So led me to believe he had a blocked up, stopped up radiator. At that time, the young man went to purchase a radiator. Come back with the radiator. Something said, before you do this, check one more thing that you had checked earlier. And it didn't see nothing, because that morning after it sat, before I was going to put the radiator in, I took the top off. I know I had filled this engine with coolant, and it was full properly. There were no leaks on it anywhere. So if this coolant level in here was low, that means we've got this coolant possibly mixing with the oil. Pull the dipstick out, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's milked all the way up. It finally showed itself. Signs of a blown head gasket all the way around. Strange part about it, the little engine with that much oil in there, mixing with the oil, you would think that the little engine would run, stumble and everything. Little Honda baby ran strong. So we're about to pull this head off this baby here. Step by step y'all through it. Send his head onto the machine shop, get it worked. We're gonna put it back together, have a little bit, hopefully everything turned out right. We can go double check these miles. I'll do a little bit more research and make sure that it's not too many miles for this little head getting worked to be stronger. And it depends on what they do with the head. They don't have to do any valve work on the head, just to clean up and everything on there. Then it's just the same. We're gonna be all right. Well, as you all can see, we've got this head off. This booger was no chump. This is a all day long thing going back together with this here. I can tell you that already. And you see, I went on ahead on and labeled the head bolts so that they will go back into the right holes, the same holes, shall I say, just in case they do not require the head bolts to be replaced. Still got to take this cam section up off, and the intake, and a few other little pieces here off of the head, and it's gone to the machine shop. As you can see, she's going back together. Got the head back on. I'm snugging the head bolts on their little first snug down run, and continue to connect everything else up on this baby. We're gonna be out here all night tonight, y'all.